All right, we are live yet again. And we're going to go live on Amazon. And there we go. Okay. Live. We are live. We're doing it live. So what are we doing today? Well, every once in a while I look for things that are quick and easy to do reviews on, because sometimes it takes a while to make these videos, right? So I was perusing Amazon the other day, and this popped up in my recommendation feed. So I thought I would buy one and just see how it works. And you know, one of the things that I'm noticing on a lot of the conference calls that I'm on is that the lighting, and I'm not like, I am not the end all be all on lighting, as you can see, but you know, some lighting pointed in somewhat of the right direction is often better than not having any lighting at all. So this kind of struck me as intriguing, and the reason it's intriguing to me is that you get the light, you get the stand, and you get a suction cup. So it's probably going to work, right? And I bought it, and then I started reading the reviews, and I guess a lot of people are noticing that it cuts out after 45 minutes or so. So we're going to leave it on like full blast, and we'll see what we get here. So that is the plan. So why don't we open this thing up here in a minute, and I'll start putting some of your comments up first, maybe just to say hello to some of our usual friends here. Dennis Black has caught every one of these so far this week. I feel for you. Michael Kidd is here. He's wondering if I got it. I have not reached out to. I've not heard back from them yet, actually. So let me find out. I did send them a note, but let me come back to them on that. That seems like a pretty bad one. Is there any new articles on that, Michael, that I could send over to? Let me know. Dava is here. Romeric is here. Just gonna put your little things up here. Mark Dell has got work to do today, so you can watch the replay. And Eric just did a live stream on his channel. Awesome. Dave Dava wants to know, how do you root a Chromebook? It depends on the Chromebook. They're all a little different, and most of the time you have to take them apart and like unscrew stuff, and I don't know about the current batch of them. Oh, cool. Brandon did that was a video I did a long time ago, and I wasn't sure how well it would do. So I never did get a lot of response to that one, so I'm glad that that video helped you out. Here's a good question from Jack. Do I recommend building or buying a NAS? It depends how much time you have. For me, I think buying one makes a lot more sense, and it's because you're not going to have to waste time trying to get it set up. There are some really good open source projects that give you a lot of NAS functionality out there that are definitely good and worth considering, but you got to maintain it yourself. You know, one of the things that I like about the Synologies and the QNAPs out there, and the WDs to some degree also, is that you get the ability to just have them maintain it for you. So my Synology gets updated every week or two, and it just updates itself in the background, and I never have to really think about it. And so, you know, if you're a hobbyist and you don't mind spending a little time to just keep up with maintenance, I think it makes sense. But, you know, it's a matter of how much time you want to spend on stuff. And I've said to many of you, you know, where I'm at with this stuff now is, yeah, maybe I would build one for a video, but I mean, for my day-to-day operation, you know, like if it were to go down on me because of something I didn't maintain, you know, then it's going to take a lot of, you know what I mean, just the time commitment in keeping it all updated. So let's see what's in here. Now, Lumecube has made their own products for a while. They have like these little cube lights. This thing is, it looks to me kind of like almost a more commodity product that they've branded themselves. So this is the light itself. It's actually pretty nice. It's got a nice build to it. I can see why people say it overheats, and we'll put this to the test. So it's metal. It actually feels really sleek. It kind of has a smartphone kind of feel to it. Not very big. There is a display to tell you what the color temperature is. I think it's battery powered. Let's see. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's got a battery on it. See the light there. And then there's a dial here for brightness. Oh, that's the color temperature. So you can adjust the... I'll turn my lights off in a few minutes. So this is... So it goes from on the coldest side, 5600, to the warmest at 3200. I'm not sure how you adjust the okay, so then you can do the brightness. Ah, there we go. Okay. And we're going to blast this thing because I want to see exactly, there's people complaining about the battery life, or not the battery life, they're complaining about the device heating up and then shutting down. And I would imagine the diffuser here doesn't help with the heat. But we'll find out in a minute. I got to plug it in because I got 15 minutes on it before the battery dies. They don't give you, actually there's nothing here in the box to charge it with. At least I don't see anything. There is a charging cable, but no charger. But that's okay because I've got a charger down below. And then they've got a USB-C to USB-A cable here to give you an adapter if you need it. But I'm just going to hook this up. And I'm guessing it's just like your standard 2 amp, or yeah, 2 amp USB deal. But it is a USB-C connector. And I wanted to just let the light run because, again, I want to see if this heat thing is an issue. Because if it shuts itself off, that's a real problem, right? We don't want that. So it's going to look a little blown out, but we're going to put it on my computer in a minute. So there you go. Yeah, it's definitely getting, it's not like hot, but it's definitely feeling a little warm. Now, what's interesting is I have a timer. Here, I'll zoom in on the display here so you can see what it looks like. There is a timer on it. Back in focus there. And I think this indicates how much time you have on the battery. But that's going up now because I have it. It's really like my autofocus is totally confused. It's going up now because because I plugged it in. So it looks like it's able to run ahead of the battery when you have it plugged in. And it takes 9 watts of power, but 5 volts in. Okay, so it's 9 watts. It's amazing how bright these lights are for that amount. Okay, so I am, oof. Now what's cool about this is that there are like tripod mounts on it. So you got one here, so there's 2, one on each side. So you could have it go vertically or horizontally. And then you put the diffuser on, which diffuses the light out a bit. So let's put that over here for a minute. And again, I'm just letting it run because I'm curious to see if it's going to conk out on us like people were saying on the Amazon reviews. And then, well, it's that really sticky suction cup. So it's got a suction cup here. And we're going to put the suction cup, and I've already got my webcam going on the laptop here. So we're going to stick the suction cup here on the back of the computer. So we'll get that positioned right over the camera and just kind of push it down. And then we'll lock it into place. It's got a good grip, really good grip there. So that's great. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to kill the lights in here. And we'll see how it looks with like different color temperatures and stuff. And the Mac is pretty good. You know, its camera is good. It's doing a lot of adjustments right out of the gate. So even in like no light at all, it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do here is, let me kill all the lights in the room here. Actually, before I do that, let me get, I'm going to get this light mounted on top of it here. Whew, it's bright. And the key is not to look at the light. And I think what you want to do is kind of screw it on. Yeah, I got to screw it on. So let's just kind of roll it around like this. Is not ideal, but you get the idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unplug it real quick and just kind of screw it down. So you got a little bit of battery life in there. All right, there we go. And then we'll get it into position nice and tight. You got a little bit of play on the back, so I'll show you what the suction cup looks like here on the back. So that's helpful, like if you're out, out in the field or whatever. Although it's, oh wow, it's weighting down the, so I think if you've got one of these displays that goes flat, because like watch what happens, it's, oops, taking the whole thing down with it. So it does add some weight. So you're going to need to find like the proper balance. And then you also get one of these things. So this is like a little mini tripod. So you're paying, I think you're paying more for this versus like all the parts separately, but you're getting a kit. And these guys and gals from from this. I bought this, by the way, in case you're wondering. Tripod's not that great, though. How's that supposed to work? It's like slipping on the desk here. We'll test it out a little bit later. But it's definitely, it's sliding, and it's like leaving rubber bits all over the desk. So that's not good. Like it's shedding rubber all over the place. All right, so we'll come back to that. But what I want to do is just see how long the light's going to stay on for, because that was something people were noting. So the light went on probably about 5 minutes ago. So we've been running for about 5 minutes. Let me plug the cable back in. And what I can do here is go back. OK, we're on the color temperature now. So I've got it on the warm setting now, and I've got my studio lights on still. So let's kill all the lights. So let's do that real quick. I've got my studio lights on a wise plug. So I can just go boom. Ooh. All right, so this might be fun for Halloween. So it's definitely not, now granted my cameras are set for a specific thing, but let me show you what the computer sees. So that's what the computer sees. And I am like totally dark. The only thing I've got is some sunlight on the other side of the room coming in. But this is kind of what the scene looks like right now. Pretty dark. Set some ambiance here. And let me just pull up the chat room here so I can see what's going on. OK. Yeah, so this is the warmest setting. And then I can turn it, oops, and that goes cold. And it's very bright, but that's typical of one of these lights. So and now the other thing you got to deal with here is that your laptop is going to do different things to you depending on, exactly what your circumstances are. And so I want to say, let me start that again. Your laptop is going to do different things depending on the laptop. So for example, if I pulled up the image from my little computer here, which is the Windows computer, so I can get this going, because I can actually show you the impact of the light on the Mac and on the other things. So right now we're on, I think, the coldest setting. Yeah, we're on the coldest setting now. So that's cold. But the Mac kind of warms it up anyhow. And now we're going to go warm. So you can see how the Mac's adjusting. So it's going to depend on the camera that you've got to really figure out what it's going to be like. Because it seems like it warms the image back up again after the light readjusts, right? I'm just watching it on the screen here. So I'm definitely warmer here. But you can see it eventually kind of balances out. So I'm curious now how the rest of it looks. And here's the other camera if you want to get a feel for it. So this is the warm setting. And I'll look at the camera here. And that's cold. And you've got like stuff in between. And you can see how lighting can really set a tone, right? But what this is really designed for. So let me show you what the Mac looks like with no light. Well, actually, I don't want to turn off the light, so I can turn it around, I guess. The reason is that I want to leave the light running here because everyone's saying it dies after 45 minutes. So we need to let it go for a little bit. Mark says, it looks like I'm getting ready for a Zoom call. We sure are. Welcome to my Zoom call. So this is the output from the laptop. And if I put my hand over the light, you can see how noisy it gets with no light at all. But the Mac does a better job. There's very little room, very little light in this room. But look how good the Mac does. I mean, once the light comes back. So let me get some other stuff on here. Yes, Brandon, that is absolutely the word I was looking for. Auto white balance is exactly what it's doing. So let's see what my other thing does. Mark Dell wants to know if I have a cat filter to add. That's funny. Patrick wants to know what is different on this light. Actually, nothing. The big difference here is that you get a suction cup and a tripod. And maybe a little bit better warranty. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at the manual here. They call it broadcast lighting. And like I said, what I'm seeing in the Amazon reviews is that it turns itself off after 45 minutes. So we're just going to kind of let it run until it turns off, because I've got it at full brightness. And it's bright, but it's not super bright. I mean, I have brighter lights for my cameras that I paid a lot more for. So they've got some, you probably can't see on the, I guess you can see a little bit. So they've got like a few examples of how you might have two of these. And what Patrick wants to know is, does it have a CRI rating? Let's take a look. I don't believe so. And so I'm going to have to do some more CRI rating. Color Rendering Index, CRI, RA greater than 96 plus. So you can tell me what that means. I don't know what that means. And that's the rest of the specs. So it goes 3200K to 5600K. Right now I've got it at the warmest setting. And what I'm going to do now is get my other thing going here. This is the Windows computer. Actually, the Windows computer isn't doing bad either, but the camera on the Mac is much better than the Windows computer is. So let me go over to my NDI thing here. And I'm going to shoot some video from this machine. It might be a little bit more lag on this one. So let's add inputs, NDI, and this will be display 1. Okay, so here is the Windows computer. I'm just going to kind of put it on top of the Mac. And let's kill the title for a second here. So you can see what a difference, depending on the thing you got. So you can see there's still a lot of noise here, partly because the scene is so dark outside of the light. But if I didn't have any light on at all, it would look really bad. And then the other thing I'll do upstairs in a little bit, like I said, I want to let this run for a little while, is I want to go upstairs and kind of do a blown out shot and see what difference it makes there. I guess we could probably do that on the Windows computer and just go up to the window over there and just kind of see how it looks. Because a lot of times people put themselves in, which camera am I on? This one. They put themselves in front of a window and then boom, right? So let's adjust the color temperature now on this one. So I'll put it back in front of it here. And let's see what we get. So that's the warmest. I look rather warm here, don't I? And then we'll go cold. So the Windows machine is definitely running with a much different white balance. This is a really lousy camera on this thing. This is the, I'm using the Surface Laptop Go, which I love a lot. I like it for everything except for its webcam. That's the only thing that I haven't been digging too much on it. You know what I could do? Here, let me go get something else here. So I have the tripod, and I could put my, we got that NDI camera in the other day from PTZ Optics, the NDI webcam. So where did I put it? It's over here somewhere. Because what I'm trying to do is just run down the clock on the light. Now, what's neat about this camera is that, I will show it to you here. This is an NDI camera, and it's powered over Ethernet, so I just have to plug the Ethernet cable in and it's going to turn on. Because I have this cable patched in to my, where did the end of it go? I've got it patched into my PoE switch. So when I plug it in here, check it out, ready? Just going to pop it in, and you'll see it come to life here. I think I still have it patched in. Yep, there it goes. That's it, just powered by the cable. And then, what's really cool about this is that the cable also delivers video onto my network. So what do? I can click Add Input. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we get. Somebody's saying the video is black on, oh, it's still there, okay. All right, so now we're going to go back to my chat here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, you know what I could also do is I could pull up the video on the iPhone too and see how it does with that. I'm just trying to get like, I'm just trying to run down the clock here on the light because I want to get the light fully utilized, get it all involved. Here's the Huddle Cam. Okay, so we're going to add that in. Okay, I've got now like three NDI sources coming in. So here is the Huddle Cam. Ooh, this one looks the best out of all of them. Look how nice this looks. And this one's like a super wide angle. So this one might actually, because this one has like its own, you can set the white balance on this manually. I have a controller here. And I can do, I should add this. Let me add this to the list of products on Amazon so you can find it. So we're going to say Huddle Cam. Let's see, Huddle Cam. I'm just going to add it to the list of products here. So if you are on Amazon and you click on the product carousel, you will see this at the bottom in a second. HD Pro. Huddle Cam HD. Where did it go? Bear with me for a second here, folks. I'm just trying to find the right one so I can put it on the list. Huddle Cam HD. Oops. And we'll get this going. That looked nice, and then it's got this cool controller. So check this out. I can zoom. We reviewed this the other day, and this is a fake zoom because it's capturing at 4K, and then it's pushing stuff out at 1080p. Huddle Cam, NDI. Why can't I find it now? Where did it go? They were selling these on Amazon last week. Let me pull this up again. Might be typing it in wrong. Huddle Cam HD, PD, NDI. So this is the network version of the camera, by the way. There it is. Not cheap, but it's, if you're in a production scenario, it might be worth looking at. Huddle Cam HD, NDI HX. Yeah, it's funny, it's not showing up on my app. There it is. Okay, now it's added. There we go. Return to live stream. Okay, so there we go. So now, right now we're on warm. You can see it right there. And then if I go over here, we'll go cold on it. And that's cold. So that's a pretty big shift there, isn't it? And this camera has an auto white balance also. So you can see it is warming me up a little bit as we shift. But if we go warmer here, that's definitely warmer. You can tell. And it'll adjust. So it looks good. And this is my vMix control panel you can see right there. Pretty cool. That's the mothership right there. And then we've got some computers here running the show. And then we can switch between all these different views. So here is, so this is the Mac. Actually, it's funny, the Mac looks pretty good. Now, the Mac is a 720p webcam, but they do a lot of image processing. That's part of what they added to the chip, and this is the Huddle Cam. Huddle Cam, Mac. Huddle Cam, Mac. So that is that. I mean, I would imagine this is going to be more of a thing for Zoom and stuff, right? So what I could do is go over, here, I'll go give you my wide view here. And really what I'm doing is I'm waiting to see if this light's going to overheat. That's the main test at the moment. Because if you're going to be on calls all day, you're going to want your light to work. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on here. So there's a bunch of discussion here. Patrick Chang, I like everything on it except its webcam. You know, it's funny. I've never been, I've never had issues with my Mac webcams. Although I think so I think my iMac has a 1080p one. Am I right about that? Maybe I'm wrong. CRI, Patrick Chang says, measures the color accuracy. You want one that's 95 or better. So I guess 96 is probably pretty good, right? So that's probably good. Let's see here. Yeah, so we are looking right now at a light, just a light. And the light is on top of my MacBook here with a suction cup. And so this kit, they give you, it's a kit. You get a light with a diffuser, you get a suction cup for the back of your computer, and you get a little tripod. But the tripod is shedding rubber all over my desk. So we'll see how, maybe it just had a bunch of like crumbs from manufacturing that were still on it, but that's what we're looking at here. Oh yeah, I should try the iPhone camera out in a minute. Jack says, new look. Yeah, we're just testing out. This is like this is Lon's channel after hours. Isn't this cool? Like a real, I'm setting the scene. And what we're doing today is just trying out this webcam light. And I'm seeing some issues with it. So this is one issue, is that on the MacBook here at least, it weighs down the hinge. So, whoops, so that can happen. So you got to be careful with that. And if you don't, if your computer can't handle the suction cup, then you've got the tripod, and that comes in the package. So that's what we're looking at. But the iPhone cameras are very good. And actually, they've got a 4K camera on the front of their iPhone these days. And Michael, I'm your tech hero. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And I no longer really have cable problems. I have cable management problems, which will never go away. But my cable is working well. Here's a good one. Leisure Suit Lon. That was one of my, I had that game on the Apple IIgs. I think I didn't tell my mother what it was about. So she let me buy it. That was a fun game. All right, so now I'm going to take the iPhone camera out here. And let's try that real quick. So I'm going to pull up my NDI HX camera. NDI is a real awesome tool. Although it looks like this one I've got to run it this way. So now I'm going to add another camera. And go to NDI, and we'll go to my iPhone when it shows up on the list here. There it is, Lon's iPhone. Okay. So here's what the iPhone looks like. That does look the best out of all of them, doesn't it? I would say it's between the Huddle Cam. Here, I'll pull them both up here. And we're not doing like a head-to-head here, but it's just fun to see how different images can be. So the Surface Laptop Go's camera, not so great. This is the Huddle Cam. Okay, and then I'm going to hit my spacebar with my elbow here, and that's the iPhone. So the iPhone looks pretty good, and this is coming over at 1080p. I'm shadowing the, there we go. And I've got like a zit here from when I was at my brother's house for the SpaceX thing. We were wearing masks inside, obviously, so I got pimples from the mask. But the iPhone looks the best. So let's see what happens when we adjust the color temperature on the iPhone. So let's go to the light here. So right now we're on the warmest setting, and now we'll go cold. It looks great no matter what. I'll tell you what, if you got an iPhone, you've got a great webcam built in. This one's not bad, though. This is the Huddle Cam. I'll show you. Oops, this is the, I don't know which camera's live anymore. So this is the Huddle Cam that we're playing with here. And what's cool about this one, again, this is all it takes. You just plug in your network, and if you've got if you have a power over Ethernet switch like I do, you just plug it in, and that's all you need. And so the video is through the same cable that powers it. Isn't that neat? I've got another camera. They make like really high-end robotic cameras and stuff too, and I've got another one from a different brand that I'm looking at in a couple weeks too. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Why don't I take some questions from all of you while we're just waiting for the light to die? Because everyone on the reviews are saying that this is like, I don't even know what camera to look at anymore. I'm going to turn this off for a minute. The Amazon reviews are saying that this dies after 45 minutes, and we've been running for about 15 or 20 right now. So we're just going to kind of let it run and see what we get. And I'll mix up the camera position here so you can see what we're looking at. And let me go back to my Creator app here so I don't miss anything on the Amazon chat. There we go. All right, and I think what I can do maybe is position this camera in such a way that you can see what we're working on here. That's kind of a cool shot. Isn't that neat? My office is a disaster, in case you're wondering. And in case you're wondering what we're looking at this light here from Lumecube. And it's designed to make your web calls look better. But it's really going to depend on what you're using. All right, so there we go. So Eric's got to get back to work. I don't blame you. This is not going to be a very interesting stream today because we're just waiting for a light to die. Patrick Chang says, placement of the light matters to us with glasses. That's a good point, because I guess it could reflect back if you have glasses. Yeah, so then they give you in the box here, you also get a tripod. So you could use this, and then it extends up pretty high, actually. I'm glad I actually got this angle. This works pretty well. My only issue is that it doesn't seem like the legs lock in. Oh, okay, I see. So you put the legs down, and then you turn it, and then it locks. So there's a little twisty on here. Let me get rid of the... let's get rid of this real quick. So you get like, you put the legs down, and then you twist it, and then it'll lock in. Oops. I'm doing this one-handed, so it's a little harder. So they kind of lock in. It doesn't like lock. There's no click or anything, but it just kind of locks in. And then you have at the top here, this will extend, this will give you like a little bit of a ball kind of head. And then, from what I gather, this will extend upward. Oh, I see it. This detaches. So you have like a little handle where you can attach it to the base. But I think it goes up also. I'm not sure how to get it to go up, because this loosens up the ball head. Oh, and you get a, no, I thought there was a little guide there, but there isn't one. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it extends upwards from what I'm seeing in the picture. Yeah, see, it's got like a telescoping. Let's see, like the whole thing. There we go. That's to unscrew it. All right, I'm going to detach this part. So attach that, and then... See, I'm the last guy that you want to give stuff to without instructions when it comes to things that move. Because it looks like it, if you look at the manual here, it telescopes upward. Mark is wondering, does the light get hot at all? It's warm, but it's not hot. And it's only doing, I think, about 9 watts or so, so it's not going to get too hot on you there. But it's definitely warm to the touch. And I would imagine it's warmer because I have the diffuser on. The diffuser that it's got is like kind of like a silicon. It reminds me of like a really cheap smartphone case. And that's not a disparaging remark about the quality. It's just, it's like a loose-fitting silicon. And that's going to definitely retain some heat. But the outer casing is all metal. So I'm guessing that's going to dissipate out the heat a bit. You can see what it looks like here on the back. And this is the suction cup that it comes with. And what we're trying to figure out now is how do we extend the tripod component? Because it does have like, it looks like it, oh, there it goes. It's a little bit of a tough, so it goes pretty high. So here's the height. So you can get it up pretty high. And then you could tilt the light down with the little ball head here. So we'll have to play around with that a little bit. Now let me check and see what it's looking like on the back here. I'm just going to go around the back and see what the timer says. So if we go to the back, it looks like it's still at 54. So I think it's got enough juice going in. Yeah, 54 minutes. So it's not charging the battery, but it's able to power the light over the USB. And I've got just like a 5 volt, 2 watt power adapter going in. So that's what we've got on there right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to wear glasses. I have no doubt that I need glasses because I can't see anything anymore. So this kind of just extends out here. Oh, there's a good angle on the other cameras. Let's pull that up real quick. This reminds me of like one of those police batons. It doesn't like snap it out, but so you get a good amount of height to it. And then you can tilt it. So I think if you have glasses, this is probably double the height of my laptop display. So we'll have to see what that looks like. JGA just got an ad for Lumecube before joining the stream. Isn't that funny? So we'll see where it goes from there. Black Worm's getting some chicken nuggets. I will admit that I have an unhealthy obsession with McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. And part of the problem now is that my kids really like them. So I order a few extra that I know they're not going to eat, and then I have them. Is that bad? All right. Obed says, finally, figured it out. Red Hornet says, do you think a heat sink glued to the back would solve the heat issue? It might. And again, I don't know. I'm just reading what like some of the Amazon commenters said, that it will turn off because of heat after a while. So what I'm doing right now is I've got it plugged in, and we're just going to kind of let it run the course and see what happens. It is, it's warm, but it doesn't feel like alarmingly warm. And I don't know what the escalation is on it. So we'll have to see what that is going to work. Joe says, still going to want to put that on a box for us folks with glasses. Yeah, I think that when you've got the telescoping thing here, and then on top of that, this is at the top. So you can adjust the ball head here and get it to kind of go at an angle. So I'm pretty sure you're going to find something that works. The suction cup is probably not going to work for glasses wearers, so that might make it not worth it, right? But I would say that, and I got to price all this stuff out, and you all can give me some feedback on it, because there are less expensive lights out there. I like that this was an all-in-one solution, and I like the fact that Lumecube is a company that kind of specializes in this kind of equipment, so maybe there's better customer support behind it, because a lot of times these lights are kind of dime a dozen from a company you've never heard of before. So I think there might be some value from the customer support side of it. But again, I'm really eager to see if this thing's going to stay on for, for what would typically be a typical kind of web conference kind of thing. And I'm just looking at the instructions here, because it doesn't say anything about heat on here. So that's why I want to put this to the test and see, is it going to do it or not? And I've got it at full brightness right now. So and it's been at that setting for the duration here. And you have color temperature that'll shift. So I'll show you on this camera here. This is now the coldest setting. And then this is that's the warmest setting here. So you can see it kind of makes a difference there. Now this camera is adjusting the white balance too, so it's going to favor, it'll warm up the image a little bit after the light settles down. But I kind of prefer a warm image. I don't know about you all, but I like a little bit warmer of an image. Mark Dell says, if you set the light to a cooler. Actually, you know what? I bet you that the way to heat it up the most, because there's two different colors of LEDs on this thing, so I think probably what you want is maybe something in the, yeah. So I'm going to put it in the middle, and I'll show you why. So the reason you probably want it in the middle is because, and it's probably going to be hard to see because this is getting totally blown out. If I turn it to the warm setting or the coldest setting here, there's one set of LEDs, and you'll see them shifting. That's the cold. So if I put it in the middle here, you can't see it, but there's more LEDs, and my eyes are now like, there are more LEDs lit now than there were before, because you have a warm LED and a cold LED, and you kind of mix them. It's like hot and cold water. You mix them together, and you've got a medium image. And that's how all these panels typically work. So I'm curious now is if the battery life, let's see, if the battery life on this is going to change, because I would imagine with double the number of LEDs on, I'm going to go back and check on this in a second. I would imagine that with double the LEDs on, that will probably do that. Mark here got he's on the Amazon chat. Mark on the Amazon chat got a selfie ring with a tripod stand and cell phone holder for live stream and makeup. UB's mini LED camera ring light for YouTube for $34 and holds my phone. Yeah, I think when you're looking at, that's why I'm glad Patrick Chang asked the question about the accuracy, the color accuracy. I think the cheaper lights don't have to meet any kind of standard, right? But if it works, it works. Mark says he doesn't do makeup with it. But, if it works, it works. And I think the value proposition here is that you get you get everything in a box. And for, I think if you're you're an IT person in charge of getting cameras to everybody, if you can buy everything in a box, and and that's how they make their money. They find these commodity products, put them in a box together, and off you go. Now I'm looking on the back here, and it looks like it's still kind of at the same level. So what I could do is hook my kilowatt up and just see if it consumes any more power. Where did I put my kilowatt though? Where did I last use that thing? I don't think I have it handy here. Where did I last use it? I'm trying to remember what we used the kilowatt. Oh, there it is. It's right on the floor. So you know what I could do? I could get my, I have a USB-C charger right here. And we can just plug that in and see how much power it consumes. Because they give you a Type C to Type A adapter in the box. And we can see if there's any power consumption variability when you move that around. Let's see. Like I said, I'm just killing time here because I want to see if the light will overheat. That's really what we're doing right now. So what I'm looking for now is just a little extension cable. Actually, you know what I could do is just put get my power strip and throw that on the desk there. And I think I brought one with me on our trip recently. Let's see if I can find a power strip. See, every time I go on one of these excursions, everything that I have in one place is no longer in one place, and it all gets out of whack. So I think what I'm going to do is just plug this into the kilowatt. So if you've ever seen a kilowatt before, that's what it looks like. And when you plug it in, it'll tell you how much power something consumes. And that can be really helpful. So I'm going to plug it in here, and then I'm going to take the thing here and just plug it in. Now this also has a rechargeable battery on it, and you'll get an idea as to how much power it's consuming when that's going. So I'm going to turn it on, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able, actually, I probably could get an image of it. Hang on, let's see. Without falling down and killing myself. Yeah, here's the, this could very well be what happens here. But this is the product testing process. This is why I like to do these live streams, so I can bring you in on this, because it's kind of fun, right? Is this going to die or not? We could create our own version of Hanukkah on the 8th night of the light. The light didn't die, even though it was supposed to. Okay. So right now, let's see if I can get this on the. Please do not judge me by the wires on the floor. I have not cleaned up in a while, and we need to. All right, so we're at 7.5 watts right now. See that? So now, oh, you didn't see it. Good. All right, 7.5 watts. Now I'm going to go full warm. And that, of course, is going to turn off the cold LEDs. And that is running at, it's actually the same power consumption. So I'm wondering if it might be, let me go back into the middle here. Yeah, so we got both on. And it's running at, my eyes are shot now. Yeah, it consumes about the same. So it's running at about 7 watts is what it's consuming. Just about 8 watts, like 7.7, 8, somewhere in that span. But with all the lights off here, it doesn't look bad. So what we could do next is, let's see what else we got going on here. There's a Lon.TV emoji in the Smoke Monster Discord, huh? I should play around with that. Yeah, and actually what's funny about my office situation is that everything ends up on the floor at some point. It's just kind of how it ends up working around here. So we could, I'm just trying to think about how to best demo this, because everything right now is kind of wired in except the Windows laptop. So what I could do is maybe detach the light from, we'll detach the light from the computer here. Let's see how easy it is to get it off. Because in addition to being like a suction cup, it's sticky. It's got that sticky stuff that we've seen in a few other things. Like it is, oh my goodness, like it's not giving it up. You know what it reminds me of is it reminds me of that stuff that we looked at recently that like I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this off of my laptop here. It's like it's really stuck on there. So I figure we'll take the Windows laptop to the other side of the room where we've got a window and try that out if I can get this thing separated. Like I don't know how to get this off. Like I released the suction cup, but it is like stuck on there. And it's like that material that sticks to, it sticks to metal and glass. We looked at a thing recently with that. I don't want to use anything that's going to scratch the aluminum on the back of my computer here, but this is not coming off. Yeah, microsuction, Patrick, exactly. Jesse wants me to give a tour. I'm happy to do so. However, I'm going to do it after I clean this place up. And maybe we'll do a live stream of me cleaning up my office because this has been like, it's really bad here right now. Part of the problem is that because Jake's not here, Jake is working remotely, I don't know how I'm going to get this off. Like it is really stuck on here. I don't want to like force it and damage the computer. Oh wait, here we go. There's a little thing you can pull on the back. So let's try that and see if it'll, there it goes. Wow. Yeah, so it's got like microsuction in addition to, and it left a little mark, a little ring on my MacBook, but I don't think that's concerning at all. And we can do all sorts of cool, you can do like the, isn't it funny how lighting makes a difference? So I took and I haven't implemented anything this guy has, well, a little bit of what I recommended from him, but you can see how lighting makes a difference. So, this is kind of a sinister thing when the light is coming up from the bottom. And then if you put the light like this, isn't that more trustworthy? Isn't that interesting? So you can really have some fun with this. You're playing around with different kind of lighting scenarios. So what I want to do, so a suction cup to hold the light. Yeah, it leaves a little, I don't think it's a residue so much as it is just, yeah, it did leave a little residue to be honest. I'll see if it washed, so before the review, I'll see if it comes off. But it definitely, it's got a little sticky stuff on there. I like this comment from Mark Dell. Don't judge me. Yeah, the internet seems to cast judgment quite easily. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, it says I got 50 minutes on the light here, and that just dropped dramatically. So now I got 30 minutes of light. So what I'm going to do is grab the computer here, and we're going to go over to the window and see if it gives us any problems over there. So let's pull up the camera again. And this is also like the worst webcam I've got in the mix here. So let's take the camera over. And let me just turn off the thing here. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets on this one. So let's go walk over there real quick. And then we're going to do kind of like the person who sits in front of their window to do the live stream or the Zoom call, right? You get those people all the time. So, and this camera is a great example of the issue. So actually what's funny is it doesn't do too bad, right? Like this camera's working okay in that regard, but if I put the light up here, you know, the back is blown out, but I got a nice warm image. And it shows you like just how good these webcams, even this lousy one, how good it is at trying to pull you out of the image there. Because this should not be as good. Like a lot of webcams will not do what you see here. And put the light up. And see it's blowing me out less, or blowing the background out less. So if I take the light away, see it's going to blow the background out to try to get it to. So there you go. Try a different window here. So here's a good example. It's really noisy, right? Put the light on. Much better. Yeah, not great, but I mean, it's a lousy webcam, but it gives you an idea of that. If you want to see some of my, so what I do when I go to shows is I collect the badges. These are all the badges I haven't collected any this year. We always get to carry those badges, and I've got my space shuttle ones on there. And then these are mission patches from all of the space launches that I have witnessed in person. So we've got up at the top, on the far right is the Discovery. It's on your, is that backwards? I think it is backwards. It's backwards. So the one on the left is Discovery, because it's doing a mirrored image. And then next to that is Endeavour and then Atlantis. And then I saw two SpaceX launches, the Discover mission and the Falcon Heavy Arabsat mission. And we watched all of those launches, and there's videos of all of them on my YouTube channel. So you can see all of that. And I'm stepping over boxes here. It is dark in here right now, as I'm illuminated by just the light. So hopefully all that worked. And let's see what's going on here. So I'm not sure how many minutes we're into this now, but we've got 23 minutes of battery left on the light. So I'm going to plug it back in. And just got like a USB-C connector on it. And there we go. Okay. Yes, I got to research some other lights and see how it works. MJ Campbell says it could use a diffuser. It actually has a diffuser on it. Here, let me give you an overhead view. So it's not like a paper diffuser. It's like this silicon diffuser. And I'm just running the light now. It's not, and what we're doing here is that we were seeing some reports on Amazon that it will like completely die after 45 minutes or so. So I want to see if that's going to happen. And I've got it set kind of at the mid-level, so we have the most LEDs lit up on it. So we'll see what happens. And right now it's at 100% brightness. And that's what everyone who had a problem said it was at 100% brightness when it went off on them. And you got two mounts on it too. So you got one on the bottom, which we have the suction cup wired into. And then you've got one on the side. So you can go vertical or horizontal with it. All right, we're going to let it keep going here and see what we end up with. Michael Kidd says 52 minutes runtime. Yes, I think we're about 40 or 45 minutes into it so far on the light itself. Actually, I could probably rewind and figure out exactly where we did it, right? Let me go find the YouTube video, figure out exactly how long we've been on for. I probably should have set a timer on it. That would have been good. And I'm sure you're not enjoying this image right now, so let me pull up my... Because I always look for things that I can do. I don't like try to rush things anytime, ever. But I'm always looking for like reviews that don't take a lot of time to put together. This is a simple product. You turn it on and it's a light. And the one thing I'm testing against is the overheating issue that I'm seeing people report in the Amazon reviews. All right, so I've been live for, how long has this been live for? Something somewhere tells me how long I've been on. Okay, so I've been on for 54 minutes right now. So if I go to where the light first lit up, which was, so we unboxed it and then about, yeah, so I think we've actually been using the light now for about 48 minutes. So it's been going for a while. And the Amazon reviews, like one guy said it was like 45 minutes or an hour, and then it just kind of shut off. But I don't feel it getting any warmer. I feel like it's gotten to its peak temperature. And it's, you know, it's only consuming about 7 or 8 watts. It's really not consuming a lot of power. It seems to be pretty efficient. Let me ask you all in the chat. I want to get your opinion. This is $100. So for $100, you get the light, the suction cup, the doohickey here for the top of the tripod, and the extendable tripod. That's what you get for $100. It doesn't feel like super high quality. The light feels high quality. Like it's got a nice, it's about the thickness of a smartphone, maybe a little bit thicker, with a nice metal back. So it feels pretty good. But I know there's so many like less expensive lights out there, so I don't know if this is a good deal or not. I think the advantage to it is that it's a single component. You buy the box, and in the box is everything you need, except the charger. Mark says, I wonder how better the views would be if I said something extreme shock reaction. This is, yeah, I think I'm too jaded to really do that. But, I mean, it looks pretty good, right? I mean, it's kind of a neat little effect here. I mean, if I could do I'm trying to get like a backlight going too. We're going to start doing some backlighting so you can get the hair lit. So for example, let me turn my lights back on. So I put this off camera like this. Let's do some experiments with this while we're waiting for the light to die. It hasn't died yet though. We're about an hour into it, just about. So if we go over here, and by the way, this would have been something if Jake was here, I'd have him work on right now because I spent a lot of time on this. Okay, so now we got my regular lights on. I have a mismatch in the white balance and everything else, but if you have a light kind of off to the rear, you can light up your profile. Let me get this into the right spot. It's hard to hold it and get it there, but one of the things that I've been told to do is put a light like on the like towards the back, like over here. This one's not bright enough to get that far, but to have a light kind of separating the back of the top and back of my head from the background, and that brings some more depth in. So you could see if I had a light like right behind me, maybe, maybe not. I have to get it positioned properly. I don't have enough reach to make it work, but. You know, there you go. But so far, it's still on. And Dr. Rock says, yeah, there's definitely ways you can accomplish lighting even with just a lamp. Because as we saw, you know, if you have a decent computer, and if you have a Mac or an iPhone or a good smartphone, you know, those phones and those computers will make things look better. Like, for example, I was surprised, even though the image quality of the camera on the Surface Laptop Go isn't great, as you saw, it did a pretty nice job getting the image, you know, to not blow out. What we got was better detail of the back of my porch there when it was doing its thing. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. Mark has a good point here, like better color accuracy. See, I think what this is that, and I think there's I think there's a smart play here if you're a business. Okay, so look at it this way. If I go on Amazon and I look for a light for webcam, I'm going to see a million of them from all these different companies I haven't heard of before. Lumecube has been making, they had like their own proprietary light, this little cube light that people really like. So they probably looked around and said, hey, we can import a light, a tripod, and a suction cup, and for $100, give people something that they know is going to work out of the box. Don't need any other accessories. You got the suction cup, you got the tripod, you're good to go. So I think that's that's probably going to be something we talk about in the review, like why buy this when you can get something cheaper? And I think it comes back to the usual adage that you get what you pay for, which I think is the case. But I'm not seeing the overheating problem that people online are talking about. And the only thing I could think of is that either A, there was a bad batch of these lights, or B, maybe they had it in front of a window and the sun was heating it up through the window. That could be something that happened. I'm not sure. I think it looks pretty good though. This is the, again, I'm at 3900K right now. So we could go a little bit cooler. And I have no way of knowing if this is actually accurate or not. So I probably should look and see if I have a way of measuring that. Mark says, a weird time of year to have heat issues. Well, I guess if you're down like in Florida or someplace near the equator, you could have some issues with that, right? Intection says a cheap USB ring light. Yeah, people like the ring lights. Or yeah, the heat could be blowing on it. That could be something too. Oh, Red Hornet has a good point also about flicker. That's another good point, because if there was a flickering issue, we're not seeing it on camera now. I guess the question would be, would you see it on a 60 hertz camera? So let's take a look. I think I would see it on my iPhone camera, because I shoot at 60 on the iPhone. So if I just pull up the video camera function here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any flickering on the iPhone camera. And that's at 60 hertz. You would see it if you're doing slow-mo probably though, for sure. Because I've got all my LED lights off right now, so let's do a quick, actually this might be a fun test. So I'm running the slow-mo camera right now. And let's take a look and see if it flickers on the slow-mo. Oh wow, you know what? It's not. Here, let's take a look. Let me pull up camera 3 here. No flicker on the slow-mo. I think I was shooting slow-mo there. Maybe not. Let's try that again. No, I wasn't. Sorry. It's stuck to my desk. Hang on. Ugh. My goodness. It's got a lot of microsuction to it. All right, so we're going to do slow-mo here. And I'm just going to move the camera around just to get some movement. So slow-mo recording, okay? All right, so we did some slow-mo. Now typically on an LED light, you see a lot of flickering. I am not seeing flickering. Although I don't know if it's running in slow-mo here. Let's see, I'm hitting slow-mo. Hang on, this light's stuck to the table again. It is, this suction cup, like even before you lock it down, it just sticks with microsuction right out of the gate. All right, so let me get it focused again here. Because typically on the slow motion cameras where you see a lot of flickering, but I'm not seeing any. Yeah, it's not even on slow-mo, it's not flickering. No flicker at all. Because usually when, like under my house lights here, I see a lot of flickering on slow-mo. So that might be something to talk about. And I'll play around with it a little bit more because I'll put my iPads. I found they did something different with the slow-mo on the iPhone 12, but I'm not seeing any flickering here. And I remember my friend, we did, you may not all have seen this because the YouTube algorithm does what it does. We did a video on the, whatchamacallit, on how those slow motion cameras work. And my friend had these special LED lights that had to have they were super hot. They had to have their own fan on them. They were super noisy. because they had to be a certain frequency so the camera didn't pick them up. Red Hornet says that's the difference between broadcast lights and non-broadcast. Yeah, so I guess that's true. So most of these broadcast lights shouldn't do it. But at least it doesn't flicker, because that would be a really cheap light if it did. So yeah, I think we're like an hour into this, and I have not seen it turn off yet. How long are we into this now? We've been going for, let's see, we are at the 1 hour. So we're definitely beyond what people in the Amazon chat were saying. So I might leave this on for a little bit longer and just kind of go from there. So that's that. So we know what we might do, folks. I'll probably schedule this for tomorrow. I got to check and see what the family schedule is. But I got another one of those magazines in from the Video Game Foundation. So it might be kind of fun to open one of those up. Dr. Rockgame wants to know, can you adjust the brightness? Yes, you can. So here, I'll give you the overhead view again on the thing. So we can adjust the brightness. And what you do, there's a button here on the side. So right now, there's like a little lever here, and that adjusts the color temperature. And then if you hit the button here, you can adjust the brightness. And you can see how that battery indicator changes based on the brightness of the light. But we've left it at 100% now for the better part of an hour, and it's still on. So Mark said, I saw someone else get a second magazine and do a 3-hour live stream. Wow, that's a long live stream. I probably won't go for 3 hours with that, but that was one of those live streams that did better with me. That did better with me on live than it did on a recorded video. So there you go. But I'm not seeing the problems that people were having with this light. It's still lit up. It hasn't gotten dimmer. It's just running full blast. All right. Well, I think I've gotten what I need to out of this. I'm going to leave it on for a little bit. I'm going to just kind of let it run down here and see if I come down in an hour if it's still on or not. I'm going to make my coffee. It's coffee time for me. And I've got a couple of phone calls to make and all that good stuff. But I am not seeing anything with this that concerns me. It is still on. It hasn't shut off yet. And it probably will stay on until I turn the stream off, and then it might turn off. But it has not exhibited the issues that have been brought up. So that is that. Cool. All right, everyone. I am probably going to end this now because I got nothing else to talk about at the moment. I have other things I want to stream about. But, you know, this is kind of cool. If I didn't have to hold the light here all the time, I could do videos in the dark like this. I like this, this angle. What do you think? In a world, right? It's like one of those movie things. So Mark Dell has put a link up here. His cheap light isn't flickering either. So I guess none of these lights flicker. So that may not be a feature. So let me click on Mark Dell's. Oh, it sent me the wrong link here. I'll click it over here. Let's take a look. Yeah, so Mark's light's not flickering either. Although I do see some 32X in the background there. Are you doing some 32X stuff? And I guess people like the ring lights, right? Because you can put your phone in the middle of it. That's the allure, right? So that could be what it is. But yeah, this is a little different than our usual thing. So there you go. All right. Well, everybody, I am going to continue on my workday here because this light has stayed on for over an hour now, and my arm's getting tired. So I think we're good. I'm going to do a little bit more research into different types of lights, and I'm going to venture to say that I could probably find this exact same light from some other manufacturer. I think they're just badging these things and bringing them in. But it's holding up. And it's kind of handy to have one of these things because it's USB. You can plug the USB in. I've got this really big on-camera light that I use, I guess you could use this on camera, but you got to get in close because you see once you get too far away with it, the effectiveness is decreased significantly. So if you have like a camera with a wide-angle lens and you get in really tight on people, then you can use this as a regular. This is really more of a webcam light. But yeah, I'm on these calls at night, and it would be nice to have a light that I can use for that. So that's probably what I'll use this for. Not getting much hotter. So yeah, it's good stuff. All right, everybody, I'm going to call it for now, but thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with me while I'm testing out a upcoming review. And I think a lot of the review will be talking about whether or not there's a value proposition here. So I think that might be what we look at. And David Foster says, be safe, have a great rest of your day. Thank you. I am appreciative of everyone that tuned in. And judging by the YouTube viewership, this has not been a very interesting stream, but that's okay. Some things are and some things aren't. And I'm totally cool with that. So yeah, all right. So yeah, so we're about an hour and 10 minutes in. So this has been going for an hour. So I'll let you know what happens. I'm going to leave it on for another hour and see if it's still on when I come back down in a few minutes. So that is going to do it for now, but stay tuned because you never know when I'll be back. Set your notifications. And if you haven't already, follow me on Amazon. I'm trying to build up my follower base. How many do I have now? I have 1,910 followers. So I would love to get to 2,000. So if you don't mind, hit me up over there. All right, everybody. I will catch you all very soon. And thank you for tuning in. Yeah, a lot of, this is good. I'm getting a lot of feedback on glasses, and I'm going to do some experiments with glasses and how to get it adjusted. And Dawn just made that comment. I'll put hers up on screen right now. My wife wears glasses. I should be wearing glasses and don't. So I am going to have my wife be the guinea pig on this for a little while. And it drives her crazy when I do stuff to her like this because she's like, stop, I need to. So we will see how the light works. And I'm guessing it's just a matter of angling it appropriately. And I think that's why you get this little doohickey. Here, I'll give you the overhead view. It's kind of fun to have no lights on right now because I can adjust the light any which way I want. So you kind of loosen, it's one of those little ball heads. So you can, if you can get it up high, and what you all may have missed earlier, and I regret putting this down on the table, but you may have missed earlier is that it comes with a retractable tripod here, so you can get it up high and angle it. But I could totally see how the reflections are an issue. And I often see like people with the ring lights, you see, it's stuck on the desk again. People with the ring lights, you often see that, right? Like you see that the ring kind of reflected in their glasses. So it really is an angle thing. So that's what you need. Okay. Thank you, Mark, for passing the link along to everybody. And David Bound did find it interesting. Good, I'm glad you did. Yeah, this is what I, like when I'm reviewing products, I got to think about all this stuff. And what's great is that when I do these live streams, like Dawn's comment and a lot of other comments that have been made similar to hers, is that, it's good to get an idea as to what people are looking for in a light. Because if eyeglass reflection is a big deal, I don't wear glasses, I'm not thinking about that. So it's good to hear about that. All right. Maybe I'll get, my daughter wears glasses. Both of my daughters wear glasses. Maybe I can have them sit still and do that. See where it goes. And I got a new follower on Amazon, WLCHA. Thank you for following. Much appreciated. And yeah, good stuff. All right, everybody. I'm going to go make my coffee and finish up my work day here. I'm actually a little bit ahead of schedule this week because we didn't have a wrap-up video this week. So, and I worked over the weekend with my brothers, visiting my brother. So if you haven't seen this, the Starlink thing, that was a lot of fun. That video is performing exceptionally well for my channel. So that was Monday's video. And then I did, yesterday we had the Teradek VidDU X, which is doing a lot of production, a lot of production stuff this week. So that is a live streaming box. So we had a live stream about that box a couple days ago, and the review went up last night. And then tomorrow we have the new HP NV14, which is a great little 14-inch laptop. It's got a nice GPU on it too. So it's not very big, but you get the NVIDIA goodness on it. So that's going up tomorrow night. Sammy Chapman, thank you for following. And if you're on Float Plane, you see it a little bit earlier. And actually, let me see if it's on Amazon yet. Because I also uploaded everything to Amazon this week too. let's see, Creator Hub, I think it's called. I'm just checking to see if it's on Amazon yet. I got to log in. I can check it on my other machine here. Yeah, so if you can actually see the HP review right now. If you go to Lon.TV/Amazon shop, I think it's listed. Because what happens is Amazon reviews things before they post, so sometimes they get up there a little bit later. Yeah, it's published. So if you go to Lon.TV/Amazon shop, you will see the HP up there. Good stuff. Okay, everybody. I am going to finish up for now with all sorts of different lighting positions. But this light is not dying after an hour or so. So I'll leave it on for another hour or two, and I will give you my judgment on the effectiveness of the lights and how long it can stay on without it overheating. And we'll see where it goes. David Bound enjoyed the Starlink video. Great. Yeah, I was really impressed with how easy it was to get that Starlink thing up and running. I ordered one too. I don't need it here, but if I ever, I live in the middle of the forest, so if the trees go down and take out the fiber optic lines, then I'm done. So I'm looking at getting one of those Starlinks just to have as a backup. And they don't charge, they do month to month on it. So, lose power for 2 weeks, $100, get my service up and running, and just kind of run it for a month. That's how I would do it. All right, let me pull up my little title thing here. Let's see, image. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more research into other lights that are on Amazon. Because the one thing I've heard from folks is that. So I'm going to look into the value proposition, and I'm also going to look into the eyeglass reflection issue. So there you go. All right, everybody. Catch you all soon. And I'm going to go make myself a tasty cup of coffee. Bye-bye.